My presentation is on gang involvement among youth in Utah, and why do Latino youth make up such a high percentage? The reason I decided to do this particular presentation and the research for this presentation is because currently I'm a student at Weber State University studying to become a secondary education teacher. And my goal is to teach in Weber County or Ogden School District. Either of the two districts, the Weber School District or Ogden School District. And just in my little bit of knowledge I have in those school districts, there's a lot of Latino youth and gang problems, especially in Ogden and Weber County. And so that's something that I'm going to face as a teacher, and wanted to do a little bit of research on that and give you a little bit more informed documentation and information on maybe why that's the case. Some reasons for joining a gang. First is belonging, to feel like they belong to a group, accepted by others, for security, for protection, and to feel safe, so they won't get bullied. Certainty, to feel sure about themselves and others and give their life meaning. For status, for respect, to feel like somebody important and better than other kids. Of course, excitement. I mean, they're teenagers. They obviously want excitement. And they want to do exciting things, have fun, and thrills. Money and stuff. As we all want money and stuff, especially youth, money is enticing. They want to make money to get stuff they wouldn't be able to get on their own. In doing my research, I found an incredible source. It's the Utah Gang Task Force Gang Assessment by Ben Peterson, PhD, of the Utah Commission on Criminal and Juvenile Justice. That information was so helpful, and it actually had a few different tables and graphs in there that I wanted to point out and make you aware of. The first table shows the documented gang members in the Utah Department of Corrections, prison system by gang type. This is something I'm not super familiar with. I guess I may need to be familiar with this. However, you can just see here the total reference to what particular type of gang is in the Utah Department of Corrections. Others, I'm just assuming, are those maybe that are formed here in Utah. You know, maybe some smaller ones that came from different parts of the United States or even from other countries. The Serenos, White Supremacists, Crips, Norteños, Bloods, Folk Nation, People Nation. I'm not familiar, like I said, with a ton of these, but this is kind of a table that is broken out to show the percentages there. The next graph here is the number of gang-related charges recorded by year overall and for Salt Lake, Ogden, and Provo districts. And as you can see here, starting in 2000, we were at a low level, spiked a little bit, and you can see the difference and how it's grown rapidly in 2008, 2009, 2010. Like I said, this is in Salt Lake, Ogden, and Provo counties, and then obviously overall. This here is a student self-reported gang involvement by region, grade, and survey year. And you can see here that it begins with 6th grade, goes to 8th, 10th, 12th, and then all grades combined. This is a little bit scary to me because I do have a 6th grader. I have a 12-year-old son in the Weber County School District. And it blows my mind that we're talking as kids as young as 12 years old. But you can see here that they have the statewide percentages, and then they break it out into region, Tooele County being up there at the top. And you can see where Weber, Morgan, and then Davis kind of rank down the lines there. This here is a bar graph that references similar percentages from 6th grade, 8th grade, 10th, 12th, and then all grades combined throughout the years, starting with 2003 and going every couple of years after that. Acculturative stress and gang involvement among Latinos. I want to touch on that just a little bit. Over the past several years, the number of youth gangs in the United States has increased by 28%. Of 774,000 gang members in the United States, approximately 36% are below the age of 18 and approximately 50% are Latino. This information I found in a Hispanic Journal of Behavioral Sciences written by Alice N. Barrett, Gabriel P. Cooper-Mink, and Kelly M. Lewis, entitled Acculturative Stress and Gang Involvement Among Latinos. In addition to that, the Utah Gang Task Force Gang Assessment by Ben Peterson, PhD, that I referenced earlier, mentioned similar numbers are reported in Utah, as approximately 40.1% of the gang population are Latino. I did put the definition of acculturation as the process of social, psychological, and cultural change that stems from blending two cultures. With the higher rates of immigration, you can see how acculturation might be a factor in gang involvement. With acculturation, these families and youth especially are trying to blend the two cultures, their Latino heritage with the culture of the United States, Utah in particular. There are 6 main stressors that of particular importance to Latinos. The first being racial discrimination. Next, importance of friendships and family. Latinos obviously have a strong tie with family, and with the family, there may be uncles, even aunts, cousins, even parents that are members of gangs. And so the importance of being with the family and maybe similarities in family members, that's what maybe Latino youth, why they take on those roles and become part of gangs. Also with friendships, they just find peers in similar communities, in their neighborhoods, that could be parts of gangs, and that's who their relationships they find to be friends with, those types of peers. Undocumented status causes big acculturative stress among the Latino culture. Physical proximity to their homelands, meaning they're not far from home. For example, if they immigrated from Mexico, they're close enough that it can allow them to go back to Mexico and then come back to Utah, and they're between basically two worlds. Poverty is a huge issue, and is another reason that Latino youth turn to gangs. Also, the low parental attachment or even supervision. When immigrating to the United States and coming here to Utah, a lot of the times both parents have to work, leaving the youth and the children unattended a lot. And so with the low parental attachment, support, and just being there for their youth, the Latino youth turn to gangs for that attachment. I did want to show a small clip from a local news program on KSL that goes a little bit over an instance of a gang shooting with a young Latino youth.
Two separate shootings on Monday that left 2 people dead are connected by one fact. Children are caught up in the violence.
The KSL investigators spent the night with the Metro Gang Unit to get a better sense of a growing problem. Debbie Dujanovic says more gangs are recruiting kids.
Pain and disbelief.
He's not dead. He's not dead.
Mourners gathered to remember their friend, Alan Hernandez Lopez, 16 years old and gunned down Monday afternoon.
He's just a kid. He doesn't deserve to die like that. He was supposed to grow up and be someone.
Sorry for you guys' loss.
Metro Gang Unit Detective Jerry Valdez looks on. He feels their pain.
We don't want
another, 17-year-old dying.
Recently, the KSL investigators uncovered a troubling fact. Police have identified 50 gangs in Salt Lake County and estimate there are about 1,300 juvenile gang members.
People with the gun.
Now Valdez says the gang problem has risen to levels not seen since the 1990s, with a disturbing twist.
You have juveniles out here, and that's the difference now. Is in the 90s it was adults. Right now I just received information of a possible fugitive.
A tip comes in.
He looks like he's pulling into common sense now.
Police locate a wanted gang member. They tail his hatchback to a gas station.
He's going in the store.
They see an opening.
Stop! Get over! Get on the ground!
They arrest Charles Davison.
Nothing on you, right, bro?
Valdez finds what police believe to be crack pipes in Davison's car.
So this was just located right inside the center console. They disguise them like they're selling them with roses. Happy Valentine's Day. You mind if I throw them in your car?
Valdez says Davison has been on the run since 2013
Come on,
and has been a negative role model who needed to be captured.
Driving it? These youngsters see that stuff and they say, hey, if he can get away with it, why can't we?
That's why the fight against gangs is not just here on the streets. It's also in our schools. Police and teachers trying to stop it.
These kids are so young. We have to do something now.
Salt Lake County Sheriff Rosie Rivera.
We do have Gang Free. It's a program that we go to the schools and we teach, gang-free prevention.
Javier?
In the Granite School District, fifth graders sign a pledge as they graduate from the district's gang-free program.
I will ask for help if I or someone I know is feeling pressured to participate in gang activity. Now it's your time.
Maria Garcia has spent 4 years working in the district as a gang prevention specialist. She says at the end of 10 weeks,
these students feel comfortable that they do know who to go to, how to create a plan in case they end up in a peer pressure situation.
But there are challenges here too. The district needs more money, which means not all children learn the skills necessary to choose a gang-free life.
The unfortunate thing is they're going back home to some of them, other gang members. Their mom and dad are gang members. So this is a lifestyle that they've lived, and so they're going to continue living this lifestyle and this cycle until we try to put a stop to it.
The gang unit will keep working on the streets and in our schools because there is more pain and loss to try and prevent. Deputy Janovic, KSL 5 News.
The sad thing is there's so many more stories like this. When I was looking up all the information on this particular topic, there was multiple news reports or stories on young teens that have been shot or are involved in gangs. There are a couple of different youth outreach programs, and I here even in the Ogden area that I wanted to just inform you about, and you can see their websites I have posted here on this presentation. Youth Impact, their purpose is to respect, protect, serve, and instill hope in the children of Ogden, and through them, our community. Their mission is to give each and every child who comes through their doors a safe place to learn, socialize, and realize who they are and who they can become. They have particular times and days that they offer activities and all different programs. To learn more, you can, like I said, visit that website here on my presentation. The other program or outreach program I did want to reference here is the Boys and Girls Club as well. And their website is on my presentation here that you can go to and learn more information about that. Similar programs, great programs, and always looking for volunteers. And like I said, spread the word. Those are great programs for our youth to be part of. Again, the reason I did this particular presentation is because I am going into the education field. Wanted to be a teacher anywhere from middle school to high school in these areas and communities where there's a high population of gang involvement and that of Latino youth. And I hope that you guys learned a little bit from my presentation, as I learned a ton in doing the research for this presentation, and have a little bit better of an understanding of what I'm going to be getting myself into when it comes to being a teacher in these communities. Thank you.